If we're going on what's the better trilogy, I'm gonna say Nolan's Batman.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
We'll be on
I
opposite
will.
opposite sides of the coin because I would say the
I
Raimiverse.
will say. I will say. Dark Knight Rises, worst of all the six movies in my opinion. I do not really fuck with Rises much at all. I don't think there's all that much to it. I think I feel like Bane, while he is a good villain and is portrayed well in this universe, is not a great portrayal of Bane overall as a character. But that being said, the first two movies, I especially Dark Knight, I think really pick up this whole entire trilogy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think Dark Knight is like undisputed. Probably is like the best superhero movie ever. Like da 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 da. But I just feel like if we're looking at it from a movie standpoint, yes, the Dark Knight trilogy is the better movies. But if we're looking at it from a superhero movie standpoint, I think the Raimi trilogy is a better representation of superhero movies.
I can understand that take as well. Yes.
Because the Dark Knight trilogy, as much as I love it, it's not really like superhero coded. It's like real life coded that they threw like Batman characters into real life, which is great, but it's not very superhero coded. I mean, I as much as I love the Batman, I can even kind of say the same thing where realism takes over and like you're just putting Batman into like the real world, whereas the Spider-Man stuff, it feels like obviously it's the real world because it's New York, but that feels like Spider-Man. It feels very comic booky. It feels like a comic book rather than like a real life situation.
Right. I think it also is to an extent of just like the directors. I mean, not to disrespect Raimi or anything
Right.
like that, but Christopher Nolan is literally like one of the greatest
Right.
movie directors of all time. So it's really hard to really kind of get anything over him as well. So obviously there is that just heightened quality of movie and directing on the Nolan side of the cases. But I will agree with you into where it's like I feel like more so than most other superhero trilogies, if not every single other superhero trilogies, the Raimi Spider-Man movies feel the most like an actual superhero story in a superhero world.
I mean, I have nostalgia too, but I definitely have more nostalgia for the Raimi movies because I grew up with those. Whereas the Dark Knight stuff, I was like still a kid, but I wasn't as into superheroes around then. I was more into WB and things like that. Because there was a point in my life where, like, as a kid, loved superheroes, and then like fell off, and then it wasn't until like 2016 where I got back into superheroes. So most, like again, Batman Begins, I obviously saw and whatnot and grew up kind of with because it was like '05. But by Dark Knight I was kind of like out of it a little bit, so I have more nostalgia for obviously the Raimi movies because I've seen all three. I believe Spider-Man 3 is like one of the first movies that I saw not as like a toddler because obviously you take your kids to go see toddler movies and shit like that. As like a person, Spider-Man 3 is like one of the first movies I can remember like going to the theater and seeing, as well as obviously Revenge of the Sith and whatnot. Um, so I have more nostalgia there. So maybe I am a little biased, but I just think, yeah, superhero wise, the Raimi trilogy is definitely like the better representation of that. But movie wise, it's like if we're looking at what movies, well, I guess we don't even have to look at what would win an Oscar because Dark Knight, like Heath Ledger did win an Oscar and stuff like that as the
Yeah.
motorcycle bandit goes flying by your window. Um,
Jesus.
yeah, so it's like obviously Oscar worthy is the Dark Knight movies, whereas that the Raimi one's not as much. I know people hate on Spider-Man 3, but I love Spider-Man 3. Again, maybe it's the nostalgia because I saw it, but I know it's convoluted. I know there's too many villains. I get it, but man, do I love that movie.
It's a
I
fun
just think
time.
it's
It's a
it's
fun
just a
time.
fun movie, even without the memes. It's still just a very fun movie. 'Cause I know like it's probably like 2 years ago, you and I watched Spider-Man 3 at my house, and we were just like rifling off the memes the whole time.
it was it was the craziest movie like duology we ever had because we watched Hacksaw Ridge and
Yeah,
then we watched Spider-Man
right.
3.
So random, and my mom came and watched it with us, which is even funnier because she had no clue what the hell we were saying at all. But yeah, even without the memes though, it still is just a fun movie overall. So yeah, I don't know. It could go either way, and it depends on which way you're going. But I would stick with. I think I like more, even though I love The Dark Knight. I think I like the Raimi trilogy more personally.
I'm gonna stick with my Nolan answer. I can understand the Raimi answer.